Well, good morning. Happy day after Belmont Stakes Day. What a show yesterday. Video yesterday was hot, man. If you join us on the show, we gave out a $32 pick five, paid 450 at Gulfstream Park. Um, Golden Tempo, Miss Cherie DeVoe. Congratulations. Another win. Wins the Derby, then wins the Belmont. We got Gulfstream Park in un minuto, 1 minute. The five taking a lot of action. I had that horse fit. I thought this was a tough first leg. Honestly, it was either do I narrow to 411 in the first, or is it kind of a deep spread? 1, 3, 5, 8, 10. I didn't really. I kind of went back and forth. I wasn't sure. I finally kind of landed. Probably it's a spread in the first race. So if you're playing the early pick five, I think you gotta make decisions. I like the 4 over the 11. The 11 got kind of a brutal post for list. Is my biggest concern, but the horse fits. Sammy for Smolian makes a lot of sense, I would say, but I don't know. I thought the first race kind of tough, so you know, um, I thought race two. I think this is a two-horse race. I did leave the 5 in, but to me, this is the 7 or 3. I kind of struggle to go back and forth. I put the 7 on top, so 7-3, but I do think the 3 can win the race. You get a top GSR for just a filly and ran really well last out and won that 60. And Calathea comes in. First off, the layoff one on the Tapeta there, you get a big GSR increase of 15 points. So, Exacta not going to pay much. Maybe you get a cold try or something like that. But I thought it was a two-horse race in race 2. We got 0 minutes to post till race 1, so we'll pause here in a minute. We'll talk through that race. Looks like they're cruising over to the Tapeta track. Race 3, I was 4-1-6. Can the 2 or 5 win? I don't know. I think the 2's cheap, so no. I had the 4 pocket pair on top though. Game Changer Jolie is Scotty Longshot, but Annie Goodbody should sit a good trip. They're on the Tapeta going 2 churns. So again, I didn't have too many strong opinions early. But 4-1-6 here in race 3. Pocket pair, Sammy, Smolian, this is Mav with Carlos David. It continues to have a strong meet. This horse comes out of a non-winners or 2 into a straight 12-5, so stepping up 4 points in SOR. But you look at reading time, this horse is dropping for Asino, and Diego Herrera had 6 wins the last 2 days. This kid is riding absolutely outstanding after coming from California. So again, not too much opinion early. Strongest here, the 2 and the 5. Maybe the 1 can run. I don't like the 7 at all. Risk with that speed to the outside. So it's 2-5 for me really in that race. That was probably, again, in between race 2 and race 4 were my strongest opinion. They're loading in race 1. Again, 4-11 most likely winners, I would say, in that race. Here in the first, if you want to play it cheap, that's what I would say. Into the 3-7, but maybe you get a price in the first. I don't know. I thought race 5 was really wide open, I would say, as they get ready to go to the post here. So we'll take a break here. Again, at race 5, I was 3-6-2. I tried to beat the 8 and 9. The 10 got a brutal post, but definitely trying to beat the 8 and 9. I like the late pick 6 and late pick 5. So that's where a lot more, in my opinion, is. But I wanted to jump on before they go, talk through those first 5 races. Thank you all for joining, though. What a day. Wish you all luck today. So Gulfstream Park race 1, they're about to go off. Let me jump back. We'll watch the race sim as they go. And we got what looks like about two more to load. Main claimer. Sammy on the 4, you're getting 3-1. List taking heavy late action. The 11 horses on the outside at 9-5. But they are off. One didn't break at all. So we have up front, who got to the lead? Sammy on the rail broke really well with Mischievous Scout. Gonna try to sit back. Flogo live long shot up front, followed by Still Surprising at 25-1. That's a firster. Looks pretty keen. Sammy on Mischievous Scout sitting on the rail in third, and then followed by Celerity Passion, a big long shot, and then List to the outside found a great spot. Flogo drops back, and Still Surprising, the first time starter, being just held strongly by the jockey at 25-1 on the lead, followed by List to the outside, and then Mischievous Scout with Mr. Sammy Camacho sitting third. And then outside there, what do we have? That looks like Celerity Passion. So up front, Still Surprising, big long shot, 25-1. But here come the two chalk horses we talked about. Mischievous Scout on the rail, List outside. It's the two of them. Coded Elegance running into third. Nobody else really coming. Here comes the 5 looking at Unicy, but up front, List at 9-5. Sammy Camacho leading jockey on the rail. Mischievous Scout. The two of them up by about 3 lengths. Coded Elegance and Unicy trying to come, but up front, List still holding off Mischievous Scout on the rail. Oh, List hits Sammy. They clipped heels, and here comes Unicy going to end up winning the race. Oh my goodness! Wow. The 11 and the what's up, Gary? The 11 and the 4 clipped heels there as they were dueling, and then the 5 came up over the top for looking at Unicy. Wow, crazy race. All right, let's get to the late. I thought the late was much better than the early. Race 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is the pick 6. I don't know. I think you might be able to play this cheap today. As I mentioned, and we'll talk through these. I think you can beat the 8 or 9 in this race. I was 3-6-2 if you're narrow. If you want to spread, you're using a bunch. Let's see what it looks like to just go narrow. We have a couple of singles, so we might be able to spread some more there. Here's the thing about this. Municipal might be a single in race 6. Sappy, Husbands, they get over to the Tapeta. They drop a couple points in SOR, 2 back in that 46, burn money, but nearly won the race. You know, it's a pretty competitive group. Senor Roberto working well from Marbach. I mean, this horse can run, Mav. And then you have the runner outside with D'Angelo and Reyes and Maxander. I thought the picks probably had this race between those 3. And I did think that the 4 maybe was a potential single for Safi. Let's see where we get though. Race 7. I didn't love Self Loader. I know that's the horse for Safi and Hughes Rise. They've been doing really well, but with the scratch of the 2, I think the 1 Lone Speed. Or to remember, if we watch the race simulator here, I mean, that's a big pace advantage. Even if let's add the 3 and 4 back, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, that's 25 points. There's an inquiry objection. Not going to matter on the winner, but that's 25 points. That's very significant from a pace perspective, and I think the 1 could run them off their feet for sure. Would be one of my singles. I think you can single probably in the last race too, but I think the 1 is the single. Let's regenerate, and then it wants to add the 2 in the last. I think race 8 and 9 are wide open though, so I would See, I would be double singled if you're playing the pick six. I do think the two is the next horse to add. Eight or two, I think, are only two horses that really can win that race. But I think the eight is probably a single. That's a big pace advantage. And then what it allows a pretty deep spread in race eight, which I'm 495,863. So 498. I think the 10's a money burner. And no, and five. Let's see what we get here. And then, so maybe it's a little bit more. It might be like $80. 1 through 7, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, I would spread here. Well, maybe not. Maybe I would spread in leg 5. So 173. I don't know. This is a tough one. I don't know that I would probably play something like this. So I think for me, and I kind of have to nail it down. I'm going to have to figure out, do I spread here in race 5 or spread in race 9 would be my opinion on the late pick 5 and late pick 6. I like the two singles though. I think, and again, and the 4 might be a single, honestly. Like, so if the 4 is a single there, it would allow you to spread. So like, I mean, if we went like this, you could add big prices in 3 potential singles. So maybe something like that, 3 singles in the late pick 5 or the pick 6. I would add the 7. But I think that's my vulnerable favorites. The 8, maybe something like that for cheap. Only $60 if you want to play the pick 6. Pick 5's really cheap, right? I mean, with 3 singles. And, if you don't want to use 3 singles there, you don't have to. But I thought the 8, 9 could be beat. Here's the thing. The 9 post out. The 9 post out is 1 for 285. 1 for 285 since January 1st to 25 in the 9 plus post. In a race like this, I'd be trying to beat this horse all day. There's my notes. 1 for 285 going 6 furlongs on the main track. And that win just happened a little bit ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. And you could get a bomber here, I thought, in race 5 if you're playing the early sequence. They did DQ the 11 for coming over on the 4, so it came 5, 8, 4, 11 in that first leg. 5 gets the win, but you get a price there. We'll keep going, and then we'll shut this down. I thought the 4 might be a single. If you don't want to, what's the pick 5? The pick 5 ticket going to be really cheap. Yeah, $18, right? Couple deep spreads. If you don't want a single here, you could add and play it a little bit more. You could add the 1, 4, 5, and what's that give? $54. Yeah, there's pick 5, 1, 4, 5 there. I thought. I do think Municipal on the move to Peter going 9 furlongs though might be a single. Would be my only perspective there. So it does look maybe a little bit chalky, I would say, because you have a single there. If we go to the next leg, you have a single in War to Remember as well. So, if you want to play it cheap and play it multiple times because it may not pay a ton, you can play it for, what do you say, $18. Yeah, 3 singles in the late sequence. Well, I'll go through them, but I wanted to kind of a couple different options, Gary. I think War to Remember with the scratch of the 2 runs them off their feet. I didn't like anybody else in this race. I mean, it's not a great group. I know that the one has run 6 times, run second place, but it pace make the race. And I think this horse going 5.5, it dropped 6 points in SOR. And a lot of people are going to look at this and may think, oh, well, that was an easier race. That was actually a tougher claiming race than they faced today. And the horse clearly needs the lead. So just toss all these races where the horse couldn't get the lead and was running second. I love today. I think he has a big shot in War to Remember. And then so Gary, so you want to know race 8 or race 9? Race 9. So here, if you wanted to play a little bit different, I was 4, 9, 5, 8 in race 8. I think the 9 could wire the field. The 10 has burned way too much money for my liking for Safi. It's coming from 54s and 58s in this allowance field. I know it's the second pick, but burning that much money, and this horse going to take action, I think, to some extent. I'd be trying to beat the 10. We could if we wanted. I mean, make it pay a little bit. Not going to be much more. You could add the 10 there, 21 bucks. But I think this race is a spread. You know what I mean? I mean, that's an all leg. But I am 4-9-5-8 from a narrow standpoint. I think Sue Win is sneaky, lightly raced from Santa Cruz Ranch. I mean, this is a homebred, and they find this allowance group, and nice works. And this horse is fast, but absolutely flying on the Tapeta in these workouts. No video that I don't think, but 4-1 on the morning line. Obviously, that's aided by the scratches. The scratches definitely changed this race, I would say. But I like to be spread there. And then, so in race 8, 1-7-3, Gary, I think the picks might have it, but I really, honestly, I did not trust this was, I would say maybe even more than race 8. I thought race 9 maybe was tough. I didn't have strong opinion either one of these races. I mean, Joey Muscles could win. I don't like the morning line. I mean, Swashbuckle has run well versus this SOR, 2 back versus 60. That was a 35,000 claimer. I know they're cutting back to 7, so I'd like to look at that. I think Joey Muscles run a good race. Roar Ready would be there, but if I start spreading, I gotta look at prices versus a horse like this. I mean, Roar Ready. I mean, this horse just struggling to win in these recent efforts. They've all been kind of running against each other. And I think the 7, 5 Eyes on Sky Stars. I mean, Rodriguez, Mav ran well last out in that 58 when ran against the 6. This horse could improve on the outside. So I don't know. I thought those 2 were tough, Gary. And then in the last, I mean, it's a pretty bad group. I mean, it's a maiden claim, but with the pace, the strength of race, I mean, as long as this horse can break out of the gate, I don't really see how Noble Sky is going to lose. But that's why I thought it might be chalky, and try to catch a price in race 8 or 9. I mean, this is the top GSR, top strength of race. I mean, the horse obviously has a little bit of issues as they take a pretty big drop here. But you have a couple scratches. I mean, Safi does. I mean, if this horse doesn't win, anybody can win, honestly, right? So, if you're trying to beat this horse, but the problem is, I mean, it wins a racing by 3 lengths and just kind of runs off, and it's taking a 10-point SOR drop for Spats. And Diego Herrera ride, I mean, he's riding so hot. They come back to the synthetic on the Tapeta. I mean, I think it's just run them off their feet probably. But yeah. Strongest opinion though, race 6 and 7. I think the 8 obviously a little bit of a question mark, but I like the 6-7. Today's 6-7 day. Race 6, race 7 is 6-7 day. Look at that. That's funny. That daily double play I like though. I think we can get a good price there. Municipal into War to Remember. If you want to spread in the last, I mean, obviously you'll pay stacks. Cheap ticket, 21 bucks. All right, y'all. We out. Good luck today playing Saratoga. And happy Belmont. Kudos to Cherie and Jose again. But we'll be back next week. Chat soon.